Hi, this is David Davis from ActualTech Media, and I'm excited to be here at ZeroStack headquarters in Silicon Valley. I'm joined by Mr. David Greene. He's the CEO of ZeroStack. How you doing, David?
Good morning. Good to be here. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for being on. So ZeroStack, I've been learning about ZeroStack now for the last couple years.
Okay.
You all are really growing and evolving, and first I wanted to talk a little bit about private cloud. So a lot of companies want to do private cloud.
Right.
They know they need a private cloud. What's your take on that? What are they doing today?
Well, I think many companies have wanted a private cloud, but private clouds are hard. I think that companies still want the control and the confidence they get from having an environment that they control. They know where their data is, they know where the servers is, they can manage the resources in a way they can't in a public cloud solution. But it's a big undertaking. I think for many organizations historically have built their private clouds on a VMware base. And that meant making a sizable investment in hardware, usually specialized for the purpose, buying a pile of licenses of different software components that had varying degrees of integration. They don't necessarily fit together very well. And then trying to get an expert staff that can configure that, put that together, and run that on an ongoing basis. And that can be a complicated and expensive undertaking to try and do, which is I think what's held companies back from realizing the full power and potential of private cloud.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, companies don't want to have to manage their infrastructure in such a time-consuming, inefficient way. Private cloud could make their lives easier.
Should make it easier.
But it needs to be easy.
Right.
So what's your take on the future of private cloud?
Well, I think if you look over the last couple of years, and there have been a number of important innovations to try and improve on that base, right? I mean, you've seen the OpenStack project, for example, that came along and said, hey, let's get the cost out of the software at least. Let's have an integrated software environment. But the challenge was it brought with us a very big operational burden, made it even more complicated. So that didn't really work out. You've had some people say, well, let's just go public cloud. I'm just going to put everything in Amazon. Right. But then they got the bill, or discovered they didn't really control what they thought they controlled, and so that made operations easier, but didn't resolve some of the other issues. More recently, we've seen hyper-converged infrastructures, companies like Nutanix coming out and talking about enterprise clouds. But that's really about trying to make the hardware simpler and still putting on the same kind of traditional complex cloud software on top of it. There's good ideas in each of those generations, right? It's just a matter of how do we put those together? How do we make the software simpler, the operations simpler, and kind of a more flexible hardware platform for the private cloud? Yeah.
So what are you guys doing at ZeroStack? How are you making private cloud easier?
Well, so ZeroStack, we're really trying to develop the idea of a self-managed private cloud. And a self-managed private cloud needs to behave well and coexist well in the infrastructure environment that you already have in place. So we're going to work off of industry standard hardware, no lock-in, choose the infrastructure that works best for you. We're going to provide you a cloud operating system that's been packaged in a way that is resilient and self-managing. And we're going to combine that with a cloud application that will actually handle the ongoing monitoring, ongoing management, recommendations on how to run the cloud, as well as providing that kind of self-service user interface that the users are looking for so that the organization gets that public cloud experience. Really what we see we're doing is we're enabling every IT organization to use private cloud as a mechanism to become a service provider serving their internal user community.
Yeah, and that's really what companies need to do. IT as a service, make infrastructure and applications easy for the company. I'm glad to hear that you guys at ZeroStack are doing so much in that effort. Thank you so much for your time today, David.
Thank you very much.